66 continuing last part. So okay. Om Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Swakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Thou art my mother, thou art my father, thou art my friend and companion, thou my wealth, thou my wisdom, thou my all in all, O Lord of Lords. Om Shanti Shanti Hari Om Tatsat. Back to our reading of the Narada's Way of Love, and that is the 66th aphorism, talking about what? 66th verse talking about that bhakti, that supreme devotion. We have that translation is on page 138, but we'll read on page 145 now. But the main verse 66, which said that transcending the three forms of love, love the Lord and love Him as His eternal servant, as His eternal bride. So that was the verse we are reading, and we have come to this point where Swami Vivekananda is describing this love. We have heard from different perspectives, from Swamiji's own Vivekananda's own language, and from other Western thoughts also, from the thought of Plotinus read the other day about this devotion. And these difficult aspects, these are the different aspects of divine love represented in human terms and in human language. But in reality, when love for God arises in the heart, in any aspect, when that love is overwhelming and so intense that the devotees forget this world and forget all earthly ties. So the grandeur of this devotion, the greatness of this devotion is this, that when one is engrossed or overwhelmed by this type of love, then one forgets his own body, own mind, loses himself in the bliss of the divine. And Swami Vivekananda said in his words, we are reading today on page 147, aphorism 67, continuing. 66, the end part. Swami Vivekananda talks about this love which is beyond all duality. It is almost non-dual love. People thought love is all duality, but it is such a point where duality collapses into that absolute oneness. It is like a testing the divine with a little separation, but afterwards it is so close, as Ramakrishna said, that the ship was moving in the sea, and suddenly its nuts and bolts and everything started tearing up because it was such an attraction, a magnet mountain. So God is such a magnet mountain. Then nuts and bolts of our life which ties us with world and worldliness cannot stand at all, cannot stay there. So that is the extreme love which we are talking about, and that is the goal of all the devotees to reach. And that is also the goal which in Vedantic term it is said that to reach that absolute oneness. I am that. Here I and thou is a different language, but here is a language that I am his eternal servant. I am his eternal friend, like that. So, and that idea will be so intense that all the differences will collapse, collapse, collapse. Therefore, one should only be engaged in loving God and God alone. So, Swami Vivekananda says, quote, all the different kinds of love which we see in the world and with which we are more or less playing more merely have God as the one goal. But unfortunately, man does not know the infinite ocean into which this mighty river of love is constantly flowing. And so foolishly, he often tries to direct it to little dolls of human beings. See, this is the wonderful expression of Swami Vivekananda. He said that we are swimming in love. Whatever thing we love, it is the love for that absolute bliss. It's God, it's the divine. But we don't know. People think that they love their child, their family, their husband, their wife, they like the flowers and fruits, the sky, the moon, the sun, whatever they love, they do not know that they are loving one principle which pervades everywhere at the back of all apparent realities. So that is the point. Beautiful idea that all different kinds of love, all kinds of love, which see in the world, we see always, everyone is attracted to something or other. Some is for God, some is for mundane things, worldly things, but their attraction is only for that reality which is behind everything. This is the consciousness that is behind your Ishta Devata, the love that is behind your Ishta Devata, Rama, Krishna, and the love behind your mundane love for a piece of ice cream is the same. Huh? Your love for any minor, petty things which you are running for, that's also for the same. But it is the somewhere brighter veil, somewhere darker veil. As the veil is darker, it covers our eyes and we feel less joy, lesser joy, more joy, greater joy. Lesser joy we call suffering, pain, anguish, fear. Greater joy, fearlessness, ah, blissfulness. So only it is a question of, but there is joy, there is love, there is God behind everything. Only we don't know. He often tries to direct it. Therefore, unintelligent people like us, what we do, Swamiji said, so they foolishly, he often tries to direct it to little dolls of human beings. The tremendous love for a child that is in human nature is not for the little doll of a child. If you bestow it blindly and exclusively on the child, you will suffer in the consequence. That is the point. When we don't see the divine behind anything and we love, there is cry, there is frustration, there is tears, there is bereavement, there is all pain. In the love, young boy loves a girl, and what happens? How much drama every day runs? Ha 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 ha, he. And sometimes crying, sometimes weeping, sometimes sad, sometimes mood. What is all nonsense going on? Oh, they play drama, not knowing. So if we forget God and love, don't do that. don't forget and love anything, love anyone, then you will be in danger. You will have to cry. You will have to pay the price of it. Because what is the truth behind is the Lord of the universe who is full of love and blessings. If you bestow it blindly and exclusively on the child, you will suffer in the consequence. Look at the whole world. We all suffer, not because of the thing, but because of my idea of position and how intensely you look at not the spirit but the flesh. Our attention goes to the flesh. Only the spiritual people penetrates that flesh and enters into the realm of consciousness, spirit. But to such suffering, there is nothing wrong. Why? You suffer. Once you suffer loving one girlfriend or boyfriend, and you suffer another thing, loving a beautiful home and the fire, Santa Barbara, and in this zone, fire starts, goes. Of course, insurance, good insurance then can cover. But how much insurance will cover, you will have to lose. So it is the question, shall you not have good house? Shall you not have a child? Yes, that is the scripture suggests that. But how to look at that? It does not belong to me. It's attachment, minus God. That's why it is. What is the difference between a monk staying in a palatial house and an ordinary worldly person staying in a palatial house? Huh? Or many sadhus sometimes go to some invitation to some house, big house, big bed. Sometimes this height, from here to here, will be the bed. Huh? Mattress. And the blanket and the wow, 7, 8, 10 pillows all around, no? And poor guy has gone to stay one night to as guest. They have put him there, but they don't. They may stay. They may okay, but knows it is not mine. But those people who are there, that is it. If it is not thought the same way, it is Lord's house. I am the caretaker. I am given to stay here. See, attachment, and that will bring suffering. Not stopping anything, but what attitude you are looking at. So this is very vital point in spiritual journey. All our love, all our pranam goes to Lord, the Lord. You salute, there is a verse that says, all your salutation, all your adoration, what you do not know. It goes to the Lord. Sarvadeva namaskaram keshavam pratigacchati. That means there is a statement that all you salute, anywhere you bow down with love and devotion. You are saluting the Lord. You do not know that is going, ultimately going to Him. That's why Christ said, why are you telling me good? God is only good. So this is the concept. That is called the love and that is called the attachment. Attachment will bring suffering, and love for God, you stay there, but you will not be affected by it. It is called like a water in the lotus leaf. Water will be, if you see a lotus leaf and water, a drop of water, as if it is there and it is standing there. But there's no stickiness. Just like a little wind comes and it topples and the water rolls down. No touch, no attachment. So this is the point. The tremendous love for the child that is in human nature is not for the little doll of a child. It is not a doll of a child. But if you bestow it blindly and exclusively in the child, you will suffer in consequence. But to such suffering, Nothing goes in waste. To such suffering, a tremendous blow will come. I love someone and someone dies, or something happens to that person. I cry and weep, and the nightmare. People cannot sleep for days together. Bereavement, separation could not be felt. Cry and weep. No? But after this blow goes on sometime, what happens? After one day you take a pill to go to sleep and do all these things. After that a time comes, a turning point comes. Oh, then what do I love? I love my son, I love my wife. Now it is happening in India. Tremendous uncertainty in life. Today they are talking about, and tomorrow you hear there is a COVID, and that person is taken to the hospital or not hospital, but within few hours or few 1 or 2 days, boom, gone. I just now got one story, just maybe this few hours before, that was affected by COVID and is has best hospital, got the opportunity. He has money and other opportunity. And then the treatment was done and this, and he was becoming better, and had a good lunch. And finishing the lunch within boom, gone. So this much uncertainty. So what happens if I love as a as a bundle of flesh, loving that person in that aspect, then I have to cry and weep. But that weeping or crying is also does not go in waste because it awakens our consciousness. Who am I? Whom did I love? Who was here? Who is no more here? Huh? So, uh, in Scotland, there was a devotee, and he suddenly uh, was improving, and boom, last moment he gone. So, you see the universal message. So, birth is, we can give lectures, birth is there, death is there, inevitable, this, that. But how to handle it? Have you that attitude of seeing whom you loved? If you love the flesh, then flesh is gone, you have to cry. If you love the Atman or the consciousness behind, then nothing has gone. So why to be so much? Yeah, it will be some shock will come because of the physical connection, but it can be reorganized again because whom you loved has none gone nowhere. It is the same after seeing God. Love someone, seeing God in that person. And if you love minus God, then always suffering and pain. So, but through this such suffering will come the awakening by which you are sure to find out that the love which is in you, if it is given to any human being, will sooner or later bring pain and sorrow as the result. Very important. We never learn this. You love someone, see the language, Swamiji, that we get sorrow and suffering because you don't see God there. As you are, ordinary people, we love people as, aha, he was my friend, he was my, I lived with him, and it is whatever you love the physical part of the life. But to this awakening by which you are sure to find out that the love which you are is in you, if it is given to any human being, not God, but any human being, will sooner or later bring pain and sorrows. And as the result, at the end, you will have to suffer. It will bring pain, it will bring suffering. So don't love anyone for thinking the flesh and bone of the person. But love, whatever you love for who is behind it. The same love, attraction will be the same, deeper but purer, because it is not ending in the connection, superficial connection. Our love must therefore be given to the highest one who never dies and never changes. To him in the ocean of whose love there is neither ebb nor tide. In all this human love, there is up and down. eh? Emotion goes up, emotion goes down. It does not stay in the same flow. But if it is God, it does not have to be upsurge and sometimes down, up and down. There is no up and down because God is the only reality and homogeneous, the highest one. And He never dies and never changes. But human body will change, human emotions will change. So there we never dies, never changes. To him capital, in the ocean of whose love, that means God's love, there is neither ebb nor tide. So love must get to its right destination. We have our emotions and a love inside too. We always, human being, we love. Somebody says, I love, I want to love, I want to be loved. Look at everyone. Everyone is a beggar for love. I want to be loved, I want to love. I want to love, and I want to be loved. It's the human expectation. Nothing wrong, but the attitude. Who in me and who in anything in the outside object? It is the love of divine with the divine. So love everything, but not as the external appearance, not as it looks from outside, but which is the inner content, inner divinity. So love must get to its right destination. It must go unto Him who is really the infinite ocean of love. Huh? Rabindranath Tagore has a beautiful song. ধাই যেন মোর সকল ভালোবাসা প্রভু তোমার পানে ধাই যেন মোর সকল গভীর আশা O Lord, ধাই যেন মোর all my love, all my inclination, O Lord, let it flow towards you. ধাই যেন মোর all my expectation, let it flow towards you. In your attraction, in your pool, in your... So, he's not saying blind your eyes. Don't say, don't be a piece of wood, dry, but full of juice. See, that's why Christs and Buddhas, how their love is so intense and deep. We hear from the Ramakrishna's disciple as they have experienced. They used to feel the love for Sri Ramakrishna. Such a pull that they could not resist themselves. Such a pure love. Because that is a pure love means there is no physicality in it. It is the inner content of love. So here Swamiji is telling the same idea that love must get to its right destination. You should not, Christ said, don't throw your pearls among the swines. Love is a precious thing. Don't throw away in nonsense areas. And it will be not valued. And not only that, you will suffer yourself because you are not putting into proper destination. Love for God, love for that absolute Satchidananda who is lurking behind everyone. Our love should go to that reality, not to the superficial name and form. So love must get to its right destination. It must go unto Him who is really infinite ocean of love. All rivers flow into the ocean. Even the drop of water coming down from the mountainside cannot stop its course after reaching a brook or a river. However big it may be, At last, even the drop somehow does find its way to the ocean. God is the only one goal of all our passions and emotions. Hmm? There is no end of journey. Journey continues till we reach infinity. Hmm. That's why it is said that all the streams all running down the stream. No, it goes on from the mountain. If there is a spring in the mountain or any rain drop from the mountain, where does it go? It runs, and runs till it reaches the ocean. Otherwise, again you have to dry up. Again it will pull in the sky. Again you have to. That's the birth and death. The sun dries out the drop of water. All your love withered away. Frustration, loss, and then you are pulled down, and again another birth, another death, another birth, another death, till that drop reaches the ocean. That is final destination. So our life should be, the goal should be to reach that destination, and that is called the Parabhakti, the supreme love, which all the yogis are trying in their meditation plane. The Gyanis are struggling by analyzing the path of reasoning and rejection. The Bhaktas are trying to see God everywhere, not the outer features. Karma yogis are trying to find out through selfless karma. So that is the destination is that. So it says that last word, that the drop will be have to have it somehow does it find its way to the ocean. So, and then God is the one goal of all our passions and emotions. Huh? All our passions directed whatever way, unconsciously people run for that, but that is the pull of God is attracting. God is beckoning. Come, come, come. I'm a beautiful flower. Look at me. We say, oh, flower, how good you are. Eh? Somebody brings flower. I say, wow, wow, wow. As if the flower has its own potential of giving the fragrance. Ah ha ha ha. Okay, that if it is had the innate potentiality, so keep it for 5 days. Then what happens? Then the leaf is become dried out, the fragrance is gone, and it becoming stale, and they throw away. So who gave you the beautiful fragrance? What was the source of beautiful fragrance? What was the beautiful attraction? This is the Lord behind beckoning. Look at me, look at me. So the whole nature is always beckoning us. Look at me, I am so beautiful, fresh, free. Yeah, leaves, trees, plants, sky, moon, sun, wherever. Beautiful face of a child. Huh? So beautiful, loving people, or wherever people are getting attracted, we do not know why, but God is beckoning us. So, how to love that? And if we reach there, total fulfillment comes. Now, the author of The Cloud of Unknowing has truly said, what? By love may he, capital, be gotten and holden, but by thought never. Huh? You can get him by love, love capital. By love may he be gotten. He, the God, Lord, God, H capital, love capital, not ordinary mundane love. Mundane love, they use it small letter. Mundane love brings frustration, will bring pain and bereavement and suffering. But what he's saying, that love, by that pure love, may he, the Lord of the universe, begotten and holden. That means you get him and you experience him. But by thought, never. By thinking. It is not by intellect, not by arrogance, but by pure, unselfish love. So this is the verse which ends here. We read a very long explanation. This biggest explanation we have ever read for one verse. Verse number 66 started on 138 and it ended in 147. Almost 9 pages. 9-page explanation. Anyhow, so good. But had you understood anything? That's the point. Yeah, it is to be not to be understood. It is to be experienced. Oh, not to the thought in your brain.
The almanac is like the water.
Almanac will say, Ramakrishna said, in the almanac there is a prediction that there will be huge torrential rain this time. Prediction. And Ramakrishna said, you take that horoscope, almanac, and squeeze it. Find one drop of water is coming? No. Only intellectual talk will not do. Hey, this is the point. Feel it. Love. Really. Because we love. It is not unknown. It is not that we do not know this subject. Love is a subject we all know. Because every day we love something or other. I love this food. I don't like that food. Do you know what is love? But you think that the food is the source of love. Your love is expressed to the food only. The food is how long? It will go to the tongue and go down. That's finished. Your love is gone. So anything, I like to see something beautiful. Okay. For how long? But we do not know what is behind this of all these senses. 5 senses are always perceiving this, the joy of God. But we do not know. Now, so we are now going to the verse number 67. What is 67 verse? 67 verse says, Bhakta ekantino mukhyaha. Ekanta means only, one pointed. Eko anta. One, anta means end. One pointed love, but the devotees are great in one pointed love. Why? Why the bhaktas are so much praised? It is praised because bhaktas give away their body, their mind, their wealth, and everything they have. They offer it to the Lord God. And how he lives in the world? He lives in the world like a machine. He lives in the world like a machine. So that's why the devotee is really great because of his one-pointed love. Because all his love goes for God and God alone, not for body, and his own body, my money, my wealth, my mind, my all, whatever I have, oh Lord, mine, it is yours. So they offer their body, mind, soul, their all wealth, prosperity, physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, everything, they offer it to God and God alone. That's why the highest class of devotees are those who are the highest class of devotees who have one-pointed love for God and the love for love's sake. They don't go to ask God, oh God, give me this, give me that, give me that. Genuine devotees, they don't care for anything in the mundane. Rather, they pray opposite way. Like the mother Kunti. She will pray, oh Lord, give me more suffering if you want to give. But stay with me all the time. I want to be with you. Huh? So Duryodhana and Arjuna both approached the Lord Krishna, and Krishna became very impartial. Said, I am only here. So who want me? I will be with him. But I will not exercise my powers, godly power, weapon. God can do anything, but I will not fight or hold an weapon. And if you don't, you want something else, okay, I will give my army and others on the other side. Who want? So 10 Akkoini Soino, that means how much? 10 million or something. Big army which Krishna had. He gave it to Duryodhana. Duryodhana wanted, okay, so give me the army. And Arjuna said, no, 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 you stay with me. So Bhakto, he is called the supreme lover of God. They will not care for your any earthly support or any other thing. They will ask for only that thing which is God and God alone. So this is a very special thing. You look at the all saintly people. They become, in monetarily, in a worldly sense, nothing they possess. Ramakrishna. If you go to think of Ramakrishna, you will be surprised that Dakshineshwar room he used to live. That is the only room where she sleeps during night and day. Two beds are there. And whole day, stream of people are coming and thronging. If he needs to go to restroom, then he will have to, then okay, you sit here, I'm coming. But people are coming day and night, no privacy, no wealth. You will find that one or two cloth is hanging as his position. And when someone comes, or we have to go to Calcutta, he will wear one shirt or two shirts maybe. Possession. He is called the Paramahamsa Ramakrishna. We are saying, oh Lord, thou. And what was his position? Not the minimum thing which we can think of. Look at that. Buddha, when he became a monk, when he became enlightened, what was his position? Earthly position? How much wealth, bank account, checkbook, gold, jewelry. What was his position? Geruva cloth, what is he wearing? Maybe another set or two sets, that's all. And wandering from here to there. Look at that Christ. What wealth he had? Material wealth. How much bank balance was that? Where was his palatial building? We, in the name of Christ, have palatial building. In the name of Ramakrishna, we can have our good houses. But what he had? Ekantina Mukha. Those who are devotees, they are intense devotees. They are primary. They don't have anything of the material world, but they are the spiritual world. They are so much saturated in the spiritual wealth and strength that and why? They give away all their body, mind, wealth, prosperity, education, their high learning. Huh? All are given away for God and God alone. Huh? So they don't have any pride because they know what I have, it is only because of God's will. You, you have no power to think even. If people are saying, we understand in old days memory fail, is it not? It's a very common thing. We forget failing of the memory. Swami Shraddhananda used to say, I have no power to do anything. He was talking about that I want to remember one song which I have sang 1,000 times in my life, but could not remember. Whole day he is struggling to remember that song. asking me to find out where is a line, which book you can find. All the available, we could not find it because it was from remote Bengali song. Ah, but he said, and ultimately he told me, see, everything God does. We have no power. You think that you are a scholar? You think that you are a speaker? I have told, he said, I have spoken how many times? I sang that song how many times? So they have given up everything to God. So surrender everything. So that is the verse number 67. They are the highest class of devotees. Who are they? Are those who have one pointed love for God, one pointed love for God, and that love for love's sake. That means God is not a king, worldly king. Oh Lord, give me this, give me that, give me that. Huh? Give me a land, give me prosperity, give me name, give me fame. Let me be great in this. We all mundane prayers are like that. Every day we ask and disturb the Lord so much. Give me this, give me that, give me that. Huh? Does a child who pesters the mother day and night, does mom like that baby? Or even he does not ask anything. Mom looks at that child. Oh, the other boy is always grabbing boy. But this boy never asked me anything. So mother knows even what is good for that and mother gives. So in the spiritual realm.
Only mother said that if you are a gentleman, you don't have to say the same thing over and over. He's a
Yeah,
gentleman, so you don't need to say again and again.
yeah, God is a gentleman. You need not have to pester him. Hey, give me, give me, give me, give me. But it is good. Those who don't think of God, they say, give me, oh Lord, give me, give me, give me. That's why first step of devotion. And then higher step you went, why are you asking all these things? He knows my everything. He will give me. That conviction will come. Second grade, third grade will come. That okay, never to ask, but only think of him and him alone. So why do you think? I don't want anything. That's the story. Swami Vivekananda was tested by Ramakrishna. No? Ramakrishna was testing Naren, and Naren is testing Ramakrishna. So Naren, Ramakrishna suddenly started showing indifference to Naren. Whereas beforehand, Naren comes there to the window is that he is coming. He will run. Hey, hey, if people go, Naren is coming, Naren is coming. He is so much attached, it seems. And suddenly he comes and sits and pronounces. And he's talking to this way. So 1 day, 2 days, my God, it is like a stabbing someone, no? If you love so much and so much indifference. But Vivekananda started not losing that connection. Every time he comes and sits and stays sometimes and goes away. Other time, Naren, hey, will you sing a song? Why not sing that song? Yeah, that did. And my Naren is so great. And now he does not look at him. In 1 month, such went. And one day Ramakrishna asked, you see that I don't look at you? Even you enter, I don't turn my eyes that direction. Why do you come there? Then that was Swami Vivekananda, this the Ekantino, this Bhakta 67 verse. I don't come for any other thing. I love you. I love you, that's why I come. If it is a love of flesh or love of some emotionalism, he praises me, that's why I come. He gives me thanks, that's why I come. He does not look at me, I don't care for that. That is the ordinary human love in lower level. Spiritual love is that whatever you do, I come because I love you. That love is not the love of flesh or love of your emotion. How you look at me, how you praise me, how you don't praise me. It does not depend on that. So that is called the love for God. So that is this verse 67. And Swami Prabhupada says, on page 147. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Krishna says to his disciple Uddhava. By the way, I'm reading this. If you have some questions, you get ready. I will be then finishing. If you have no question, then I will continue. But you can, if you have to send the questions now. Think about that and send. So in the Bhagavat, where Srimad Bhagavat, where Bhagavan Krishna is talking to his disciple Uddhava. Uddhava is the great devotee of Sri Krishna, who is a Jnani devotee. So, what he says, to the man who finds delight in me alone, quote on page 148. To the man who finds delight in me alone, who is self controlled and even minded, having no longing in his heart but for me, the whole universe is full of bliss. Neither the position of Brahma nor that of Indra, neither domination over the whole world, nor occult powers, nor even salvation is desired by the devotees who has surrendered himself unto me and who has found bliss in me. So what Bhagavat says to Uddhava, who attains me, Bhagavan Krishna says, to the man that finds delight in me. Huh? When you find delight in the name of God, your heart swells in joy when you repeat the name Ramakrishna. Do you feel attracted for his beautiful divine form to look at that? Are you feeling that I'm missing something I have not seen from the morning? Let me go and sit before him. This is very important, that who finds delight in me alone. We find delight in so many things. The delight in seeing something good, eating something good, tasting, touching. All these things are very attractive to us. But who is delight in God, in God's name, in God's glories, having no longing in his heart but for me. He does not long for anything in the world but only God, only Krishna. Then for that person, the whole universe is bliss. Because he finds me everywhere. Because there is nothing can exist without the presence of God. It is the very constitution. Every pore is actually, that's why that we can understand only the Brahmagyanis or Sthita Praggas. They live in that consciousness. They see that everything is made of Brahman. Ramakrishna, Holy Mother used to see Ramakrishna everywhere. The Christ disciples used to see Christ everywhere. Christ left, Christ right, Christ front. And every object they see, it is that Christ means Christ consciousness in this form of a chair, in the form of table, in form of a man or a woman. Whatever you see, it is like animal cookies, my example. It is like you see all different shapes and sizes, name and form. But what name and form? Only name and form is of one material, Satchidananda material. Or in loving term, we call it is my Ramakrishna everywhere. Or in loving term, we say Divine Mother. This is my mother everywhere. Ma Birajen Sarva Ghate. In the song there is Mother resides in every heart. And Mother, there is nothing but Mother. Only in different, say, ornaments, gold ornaments. That's why Upanishad declares and discusses on this point. Ekastata sarva bhutantaratma rupam pratirupa vahischa agner jataikang bhuvanang pravisya. The same fire entering into the earth, it takes different color. You put some salt, the flame of the fire will be different. You put some plant and trees, accordingly it will be changing. But it is the fire, nothing but the fire. So similarly, God is only one, only its different name and form we see. That will be an experience. So neither the position of Brahma nor of Indra, meaning the highest position of gods and goddesses or the controller of the universe, neither domination over the whole world, I will be king of the world, that desire, nor any occult power, I will fly in the sky, I will penetrate the wall, I will disappear here, I will be, what you call, oh, levitation. I'll be levitating in meditation. People will see and oh my God, he's levitating. He's a great man. Come and give some dollars at his feet. Huh. He will not crave for all these nonsense things. He will only be absorbed in God and see God everywhere. Huh? Nor occult power, nor even salvation. They don't want even mukti, Ramakrishna said. Eh? That he does not want salvation. He wants to enjoy the bliss of God and love of God. He is desired by the devotee who has surrendered himself unto me and whose finds bliss in me. This indeed is transcendental love. This is love, which is called the transcendental love. The great commandment in the Bible describes this also. In the Bible it is said what? Thou shalt love thy Lord, thy God, with all thy heart and all thy soul and with all thy mind. That means you have nothing but God. If you give everything, then what is this? It belongs to you then. You are here everywhere in the devotional idea. If a man establishes one or another of this relationship with God, turning all his thoughts day and night lovingly towards Him, capital, seeing Him, God, and Him only, with intense longing in his heart, he will soon find the grace of the Lord and realize God's overwhelming love for mankind. Then you will think how we love God and God loves us more. He may then be considered to belong to the highest class of devotees. So, to become a highest type of devotee, one should not have any hankering for anything, not for name, power, position, not even the ultimate mukti, liberation, which is the goal of all human beings. You say, I don't want even liberation, I want you, O Lord. That's why when you offer to God, we take some fruits, 4 fruits. There we offer this liberation also. Dharma, righteousness, O Lord, I offer unto you. Artha, all my earthly belonging position, it is yours, I offer that to you. Kama, all my passions and desires, I offer unto you. And moksha, even my desire for liberation, O Lord, I offer unto you. What day I offer, then what do you want? I don't want anything. I want you only. That's why the significance of offering 4 fruits, that dharma, artha, kama, moksha, to have only love for God. The Lord dwells in the hearts of all. Who then is his devotee? He who dwells in him with his whole soul, heart, and mind. So God dwells in every one of us. So who is a devotee then? Devotee is who knows that he is my heart, he is my soul, he is my everything. We are that, but we do not know. Ignorantly run by the same love of God, but not knowing him. Such a devotee not only sees God in his own heart and realizes his oneness with him, but he sees the same Lord in the hearts of all. If that happens, he will see God here, and with eyes open, he will see God everywhere. The same Lord. And if I see the same person sitting everywhere, why I shall be attracted to this and attracted not to that? Because wherever I see my beloved Lord. So there is no choice of loving more, loving less. We all think how to love God more. Huh? More or less is not the question. Seeing God everywhere will be the same. Holy Mother, Ramakrishna, Christ, Buddha, they see God everywhere and love everyone. Holy Mother does not have any hatred for anyone. How is possible? Because she sees God and Sri Ramakrishna everywhere. Lord in the heart of all, and serves God in all mankind, knowing his oneness with all. That's why it is said, love your neighbor as yourself, because your neighbor is your own self. There is no other self but you. Okay, so we end here. Next day we'll start verse number 68. Verse 68. But today we read what is the sign of the great devotee and who is the real genuine devotee. We have read about it. Any question? Then we'll go for that. Huh?
One question, the other two
So
questions.
give it that. Uh, Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Now the question, I see something is there. The question is, ওখানে নেই দাও না তাহলে এটা পড়তে অসুবিধা How can we avoid influence from false perceptions from worldly experiences? If we pray to Mother for us to develop pure love for God and to surrender, is that enough? That means question is that how can we avoid influence from false perception? False perception, it is always there. Now, how false perception will go? If we try to see the real thing, then false perception will go. If I am happy with the false perception and take it to be real, and then we live in falsity all the time, and our conception will be wrong, our perception will be wrong. That means we remain worldly. We will be worldly always. Always a person who is full of worldliness. But we have to understand that to get out of it, we have to listen to what we are listening now, to develop my heart and soul. Oh Lord, you are my heart, you are my soul. I offer everything to you. You are the only reality. To think this way, feel that way, pray that way, so that my heart becomes pure and pure. And that is the process to reach that goal. Huh? That's the sadhana. It's called the spiritual practice. Spiritual practice is to see God and God's glory everywhere. As we said, we have to love in this world. We love everything, no problem. Only if our awareness comes, oh, I love this because God is behind it. Think of God. Sri Ramakrishna is behind it. His presence is pulling me. Where even we are we are not pulled, or we are hated by something, then that is not the absence of God, but the bad manifestation of God. You love, you run for that where you find a freshness of energy, brighter manifestation. Darker manifestation, we like bright daylight, no? Who likes deep dark cloud covered day and night, goes on for several days? People get tired. In those areas where there is such, always that's a problem. There is always a problem to get out of that. So it says, so we need to see the brighter manifestation of God behind, to see the electricity behind all the lights, to see the electricity behind all computer working. What is the energy behind? What is the power behind? To to see God everywhere. That is the point. Now, someone is asking, it is from the Holy Mother at some point told Samya Rupananda. What? Realization can be given at any time, but God does not easily give bhakti. That is true. Could you please explain this? How to have intense bhakti? That is the how to have intense bhakti that has been said by whom? This Narada so long. So what Mother said that realization can be given. That means even more than realization, bhakti is higher than that. Because bhakti, if one gets possessed by bhakti, it is like a intoxication. God will have to be always with him, physically manifesting. Say Ram Prasad, he was a mystic, and when he wanted, Mother Kali used to walk with and work with her, with him. Mother Kali, becoming a small girl, used to play with him. And he was what is called, there is a fence, is helping to prepare the fence, Mother Kali herself. So when pure bhakti comes, then God becomes bound to the individual, like Gopal's ma. Gopal's ma is so such a great devotee. The Lord Krishna in the baby form used to always play with Gopalisma. Gopalisma coming to Ramakrishna, and he used to feel that the baby Krishna is dangling on his chest. As a baby sometimes sits in the shoulder. So felt that way all through. So that is the point. Therefore, God becomes more bound, as it were. God becomes a slave of the devotee itself. That's why it is bhakti is very rare. Jnana, freedom, mukti is easy. Mukti and bhakti, there is a distinction. This bhakti is not our bhakti, supreme bhakti, parabhakti. Parabhakti is higher because you see the concrete manifestation of God or your Ishta Devata with playing with you day and night. I just got my first image of Sri Ramakrishna. How should I praise him? How should I praise him probably? And another question, how can I avoid my relatives to my fun of Sri Ramakrishna image? Oh, that you have to, the question is that an image of Ramakrishna and how to praise and worship. That is the first question. When if you have the image, then you think that is not an image, but it is Ramakrishna himself. So every day you can wave some incense, give some flower at the feet, and think of him and pray to him as if he is there. That is the way you can offer. Some people offer some fruits and candies. Some prefer do some worship, ritualistic worship. But for us, it is enough to keep that image and then with devotion pray, offer incense, offer some light candle. But don't, I would suggest, don't put flame, candle like candle. Is a better to put some battery light, so candle battery, so that is not no risk of your fire. And pray as you pray, think that he is your beloved Lord sitting over there, and he is watching upon you. Feel his presence. And second, if the relatives to will make a fun, so you should not. You should be very intelligent how to worship the deity. Keep it in such a way so unnecessarily people don't see that or don't come to your private prayer place. Make a corner where you can put the picture of Sri Ramakrishna and then you can just do continue. Don't make it show to them that you are a worshipper, because their mind is not in the same level as your mind. Your mind is a devotee mind. You are thinking Ramakrishna is not a picture or an image, but statue. It is the expression of the infinite love of God, infinite joy of God, infinite experience, eh, all assembled together. That is the Ramakrishna. So if those people who don't understand, avoid them, try to be away from them, don't have to confess them, or and if not, then you will have to say it is my way of worship. You do your worship. So don't get into fight and don't get into a show. Don't keep it in secret. I know in everyone gets this type of obstacle in spiritual life from the family and friends and relatives. Uh, so they themselves don't like to be spiritual. So someone is trying to be spiritual, they create some obstacle. I used to know of a boy who was very devoted to Sri Ramakrishna. He got his mantra and initiation, etc. But in his student life, it depends on other senior in India. It is a different context. So he used to keep his all the pictures and meditation. How will you meditate? He has no scope. That's private meditation, and he is reading. Someone will come, and what are you doing? So he used to keep his what you call Ramakrishna's picture, Honimada's picture in different books inside, uh, and a calculus book with a paper everything ready, and he's meditating with eyes open and no altar, nothing. But in the calculus book, this photograph is inside, and he's looking as if he is doing some calculus study, with a notebook, etc., around all around, and so he's to hide himself. If such is the to avoid the critics, and God is your own. Why someone will see that, and why they will comment anything on that? So I try to avoid intelligently that situation so that you can do your own spiritual practice and worship your own way, thinking that He is the Lord of the universe and He is there for our spiritual growth and development. And pray to God also. You believe that to remove the obstacles. Right? Say, oh Lord, please help me remove the obstacles. Okay? If you have any further question, you can call me. Okay, Jaima. Thank you. So we'll meet you again in the 7:30 at the 7:30 p.m. class in the Shanti Gita class. Okay? Today. Thank you.